the other select board members. Peggy, just if you see any coming in so we can welcome them, just let me know. But I do know that, because of the outages throughout town, it is tough to communicate. But we do have a quorum. We're able to meet. And the other folks we have with us are um, going down the list, Amanda Converse from the town of Orleans, our public information officer. We have emergency management director and fire chief Jeff Deering. We have Mark Reel, our assistant town manager. We have Rich Waldo, our superintendent of Department of Public Works and Natural Resources. Kim Newman, our town manager, is on by telephone, and we have a handful of attendees joining us, and welcome everyone. So I've called us to order. The first item of business is from Chief Deering to give us a storm update. Chief, please.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, everyone, for getting together. Good afternoon. As you all know, we have been hit with a monumental major winter storm here in the last 36 hours with significant damage from wind and snow. They are considering this storm even greater than the blizzard of 78 for its strength. And really, when you go around town, the level of damage is very clear and abundant. We had gusts over 70 miles an hour at different points yesterday morning, probably got 8 to 10 inches of snow, but it's really hard to tell with the blowing and drifting. I just want to pause real quick and just acknowledge the work of the town staff over the last 36 plus hours, police, fire, DPW, the town hall staff, the town manager. It's really in this situation that the quote is, "The difficult we do immediately and the impossible takes just a little bit longer." And that's what's going on here. And I'm really, really grateful for the cooperation. We have a number of really significant issues here in Orleans. Number one is power. Right at the moment, 99.67% of the properties in Orleans are without power. Essentially, what that boils down to is out of the 6,350 properties in Orleans, about 25 have power. There's widespread damage to the poles, the wires, the infrastructure, all throughout town. I will say we are working very closely with Eversource to identify the needs, the priorities, and get resources into town. They have embedded a liaison in our emergency operations center to help prioritize and direct those crews in communication with town staff. Crews are already on the ground. They're all over town, and we expect more of those resources to come in over time. And sort of we're working through a priority list. That priority list starts with critical infrastructure like water, sewer, town facilities, healthcare facilities. And then from there, we're looking at areas where can we make repairs that will get electricity to the most people at that moment. It is clear that this is going to take several days. Eversource is saying 3 to 5 is expected with the restoration. We always hope for better, but based on what I'm seeing out there, I don't think that that's far off. We are also working with sheltering and warming stations. So this has been an interesting challenge. The shelter at the Nauset Regional High School did open on Sunday night at max capacity. It had about 45 people in there from the Lower Cape. They had a significant power issue and a heat system failure yesterday. So that shelter closed this morning, and all the people that were there either went to other locations or were transferred to the next shelter, which is at the Dennis Yarmouth High School. So right now there's close to 100 people, if not more, at the Dennis Yarmouth shelter covering the outer and mid Cape. We also have the warming center at the Orleans Town Hall that opened at 9 o'clock this morning, staffed by the Brewster, Orleans, Chatham, Harwich Community Emergency Response Team. We have about 30 residents there right now. The warming station is designed for charging devices and basically getting warm. There's no food service there. There's no overnight accommodations, but it is a place for people to go warm up and charge their devices. And we intend to do our best to open that again tomorrow. We're working with the CERT team to ensure that because it's pretty clear that there's a need. The police and fire departments have been transporting people to both the warming center and the shelters. And we've also been working with the Regional Transit Authority to, they've been really gracious to provide buses to get people to the shelter. That's been a really great partnership. In the last 36 plus hours, I must say that there's been a ton of cooperation and coordination amongst all the town staff and our officials, and then our neighbors and regional partners to work on this. We have been in constant contact with Massachusetts Emergency Management, or MEMA. We have submitted a number of requests to them for resources based on need, including a loader, tree crews, and potentially labor to help with cutting and clearing and opening roads. Those are in process. I'm waiting for some further guidance from them at this point. I'm going to give it to Rich right now, but I just want to say again that the amount of work that our staff is doing and the town staff has been really exceptional. And the community overall has been incredibly supportive and patient with the work that's being done. And we're going to continue to do that here. But I'd like to give Rich a chance to highlight the work that they're doing as well.
Thank you, Chief. Go ahead, Rich.
Thanks, Chief. So last 36 hours, as she said, has definitely been a challenging storm. I will say our current situation right now is dealing with significant debris that is littered throughout the town. We have sides of roadways that are filling up with debris. We have branches that are still hanging above the head. That's quite dangerous to everybody either walking or driving. I wish we had a little more adherence to the governor's travel ban just because of those reasons. But we also have a significant number of trees that are still hanging in wires, and working with Eversource right now. Last night, our team worked hard to clear a lot of the fallen trees that were blocking roadways where we could access them, and they weren't tied into any power lines. We probably have opened up maybe 18 different roads from fallen trees, just to give you a scope of how many trees were down and blocking roads. But we still have several other roads that are still blocked. They're either blocked by down power lines, down utility poles, or trees that are tangled up in the wires. This storm will take weeks, if not months, for us to clean up. Your actions today could potentially greatly reduce that time. So we do appreciate you guys meeting today. Yesterday was very hazardous. We've had a few vehicles damaged by falling trees, large branches, or even sizable chunks. To the great extent, we plan on repairing those vehicles, with the exception of one particular vehicle that was damaged by a tree that had fallen on it. So this was in our pursuit to try to keep the roads open, to keep them passable for emergency response, for police. This is one of the results of that. Both the water and sewer treatment plant are on generator. They're working on generator power to this moment. We're managing just fine. We're keeping eyes on the fuel levels of the generators, make sure that we can get timely delivery of fuel should this be a prolonged event. Most significantly, the water treatment plant has probably suffered a little more of the significant damage just because of the infrastructure that has been knocked down within the plant itself. We have teams up there right now trying to open up access to Eversource to be able to make those repairs, which included starting last night, where new poles were set to bring power into the water treatment plant, which is good. Sewer treatment plant, thankfully, we got a new system. Everything's working there. Generators are working, not only the plant itself, but also the pump station. Operators are okay with managing everything that they got. Kevin, you're probably the only one that will understand that they're dealing with a little bit of a process upset right now, just because of the limited flow that's coming in, the cold temperatures, the lack of aeration, and things like that. Some of that stuff that affects the process. But right now, they're not concerned that it would affect a DEP reporting level or anything like that. But they're on top of that. DPW has no internet. We have no mobile communication. We suspect that potentially there might be an antenna damage. We haven't ruled that out yet, but it's very difficult for us to communicate, and throughout the storm to each other's truck. It really had to come down with cell phone service. I know Chief and I had talked about it, as a debrief after the storm. It's okay. What if we do lose cell service? What's that next component look like? And I think that's something that we're going to talk about, as a follow-up. To the Chief's point, I really appreciate this emergency management team. I think our communication, our coordination, working together, just trying to get the information out to the public, keep the administration informed, keep you guys informed, has really been very seamless, considering how difficult the time was of what was going on. So really acknowledge their good work and just our partnership of working together. And with that, happy to answer any questions you might have.
Great. Thank you, Rich and Chief. One quick one, only because I did chat with the chief yesterday in terms of what our declaration might open up. And Rich, you alluded to it. So just for expectations, by voting this today, what would you expect this would pave the way for, please?
Rich, I'll take that to start with. The emergency declaration, state of emergency locally, does a number of things for the town. One, it does open up the doors to deficit spend if necessary for emergency purposes during this time. And two, and I think is perhaps the most important, the local declaration of state of emergency raises the profile of the town of Orleans and demonstrates the need to the state and other agencies that we do need additional resources. And I think that's one of the most important reasons to move this forward today, is to open up the door so we can get the resources that we do need to continue to support the response and cleanup here in town.
Great. Anything to add, Rich?
No, I think he's spot on. If we can, particularly with more resources, just getting more resources on to help with the cleanup would greatly help.
Great. So ask each select board member and then go to staff for comments. And then if anyone of the public attending wishes to raise their hand, happy to take your questions. So Andrea, I'm just seeing you first. Any questions?
For after the vote.
Okay. Mark Matheson, any comments, questions?
No, I'm all set. I just,
Okay.
yeah, I'll be back Saturday. Get out the chainsaws.
Exactly. You will not recognize parts of the town, Mark. You really won't.
I know. Yeah.
It's, just driving over here, and this was my first trip leaving East Orleans. It's like, wow. Kim or Mark Reel, any comments relative to the update? And again, thank you so much for you and your staff, because it's just between communications that have been able to get out, you've done a masterful job. And I think that has helped the community feel comfort that we have this under control and we have their best interest in mind.
Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear, Kim.
Oh, great. Excellent. Even though you can't see me. Yeah, I just really want to thank Rich and Jeff, obviously, and Scott too. And then obviously from our office, Amanda and Mark for getting this meeting together and sending out that communication that's going out on Facebook is just really incredible. And I just really thank all you guys for working together, and Mia too for really getting it out there. I think it's really impressive, I have to say. So I appreciate all the work they're doing, and I'm sure we're going to have a lot more to come. Looking forward to seeing everyone in person, hopefully within the week, but we'll
Yes.
see.
Yeah, and I picked up and made a note, Rich. I think it's not today, but we will need to do a debrief after this, whether it be equipment, facilities, how can we do better? So that's way down the road, but let's not forget that. Any other comments, whether it be from Mark Reel or Amanda?
Just echoing Kim's comments for sure.
Please. All right, I'll go to our attendees. Anyone listening in, you're welcome to ask any questions. Certainly, if you'd like to provide any assistance, guidance, send a text. The contacts. I'm looking at some familiar faces on here, so any and all help is welcome. So I think that's the end of the update. Mark Reel, because you put time and effort into putting a template together, would you like to kind of review? And I'm just going to say to select board members, feel free to suggest any edits or tone or shortening this if you'd like. But if you make the motion, I'm happy to finalize with Mark and Kim today and the chief and Rich and get this signed and in the hopper. Mark?
So just that came from Chief Deering, so that was just
Mm.
sent from me. But
Great.
the template you see, Chief might have more comments on this, but I believe you could just vote to declare the local emergency, and then that full statement could be filled out. But Jeff might have additional info on that.
Okay, chief?
The template that was provided to the board came directly from Massachusetts Emergency Management. This is what they provided. I do think it's important to recognize that it's up to the city or town that the incident poses a present and reasonable imminent danger to public health, safety, and general welfare, and it becomes necessary to coordinate services, equipment, supplies, facilities for emergency functions. And that's what this declaration does, and that is in the verbiage of the template that was provided.
So just thinking who might want to make this motion.
Kevin, it's Michael. Can you hear me?
Yes, Michael, great. Welcome. So now we have 4
Thank you.
select board members. Thank you. Did you hear any of the update on the storm, Michael?
Yeah, I've been on since the beginning. Peggy was just able to unmute me, so
Oh,
I've heard it. So thank
awesome.
you.
Well, glad you can join us. Awesome. So just
I
one
just have a
remaining-
question if I can.
Please, go ahead.
How does this differ from the emergency at the Barnstable County level?
This provides us an
Or-
opportunity to coordinate at the local level, at the town level, so we can put in
Okay.
requests specifically. And really, under that, it is up to each town to put in requests, even though the county does coordinate those.
Has any other towns put in requests yet? Do you know
I
of?
don't-
Or?
I
Does
don't
that matter?
know other towns, but I know the town of Sandwich has declared a local state of emergency as well.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, please.
I move that we, Orleans, declare a local state of emergency, adapt the wording as suggested in our packet, and do so immediately.
Moved. And is there a second?
Second.
Second by
I'll second.
Yep, one suggested amendment, if you'd be amenable to it, Andrea, is add the language to allow the chief to make the decision to lift the emergency with his discretion.
So moved.
Second.
So that will be part of the motion. It just allows us to be a little
Yep.
bit more efficient and not have to do another.
Reconvene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
reconvene. All right, any questions on this motion? Chief, if you have this up on your screen, right when I leave the PD, if the road's clear, I know it's a short distance, I will come over and sign. Okay, because we are virtual, I'll make a roll call vote. Michael Herman, how do you vote?
Aye, Michael Herman.
Mark Matheson,
Hi, Mark Matheson.
Andrea Shaw Reed,
I, Andrea Reed.
and I, Kevin Galligan. 400. Meph, I know you would support this in spirit. You're with us, but sorry for the technology. That completes our meeting. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Please be safe out there. Andrea, go ahead.
Well, just a few questions that, in terms of assisting, because I know I have not been out, how do we manage people, the difference between joyriding and, it was already mentioned about the people who are out in not listening to the ban on non-emergency traffic. Any suggestions, or can we do another push? I have no idea, but it's interfering with services.
I'm going to suggest Chief and Amanda beef up the messaging on that.
We surely can do that. I don't want to speak for Amanda, but it is important to note, I do believe that travel ban is going to be lifted if it hasn't already been lifted by the governor. I received some information that it was going to be lifted
Great.
any minute if it hasn't already. So,
Oh, great.
but
Okay,
I
then
think
we
the
don't.
Yeah.
messaging is important that the town of Orleans does put out information that strongly encouraging people to
Right.
stay off the roads, to support Eversource and DPW clearing this stuff. That I think we can do that without any problem.
Absolutely. Great. All right. Any other items before we take our last motion and let folks get back to work?
Mr. Chair, I move that we that we stop this meeting.
Adjourn.
Yeah, thank you. A lot of sleep deprivation, sorry.
All right, at 12:57, motion to
Second.
adjourn. Second by Michael, all in favor by roll call. Michael,
I'm Michael Harmon.
Mark Matheson,
I'm Mark Matheson.
Andrea Shaw Reed,
Andrea Reed.
and I, Kevin Gallagher. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Please be safe.
Thank you.
Thank you all.